CUTZRADIO
สวัสดีนะคะทุกคนเข้าสู่ CUTZRADIO เป็น Special Episode กับการอินเทอร์วิวยังราจานะคะอันนี้เนี่ยถือว่าเราจะได้คุยกับแรปเปอร์ที่มาจากเมืองนอกและเป็นสายเอเชียด้วยนะคะวันนี้ทำความรู้จักกับเขากันเลยดีกว่า Hi ยังราจา
Hello, hi. That was a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. It's so great for CUTZRADIO to get a chance to talk to you. Like, I so want to talk about your latest single, but I also want to give, our viewers a chance to get to know you first. Like, it's been like I would say like quite a year in Asia for, the hip hop community to kind of get to know different artists, that there's like a huge like hip hop community in Asia, I mean, you've been to Thailand. We met in Thailand before.
Yes.
And I'm sure like we connected. We know that there's like, like different, artists everywhere. So like, how did you get started, being in Singapore? Like, how did you get into hip hop?
I think I'm so grateful for how things aligned. It is such a crazy thing because at the time when we started, especially my friend Faris and I, we started together. At that time, there was no proper infrastructure like, Universal Singapore hasn't set up the way it is now. DevJam Southeast Asia didn't exist at that time. So there was really no support system that we could enter, So we didn't know where to go when we started. This was sometime around 2017. But shortly after we started, we went to Malaysia. We linked up with Cartel side with Joe Flizzo and everybody, and then next thing you know, that became DevJam Southeast Asia, and it became like a proper infrastructure for rappers from Singapore, Indonesia, for all of us to be part of one big family. So the timing of everything was so perfect, like I think it was really like God or the universe or whatever it is that helped push us in this direction at the most perfect timing. Because if I had started out 5 years ago, it wouldn't have panned out like this. It is just the perfect time to set the foot forward in the industry. So I'm very grateful for the labels that I'm a part of. Very grateful for the team that I have around me that have all come together very nicely because of the timing of things. So it's really amazing.
Amazing. When you started, like, were people around you or your friends, like, were they into hip hop? That you had like a community that was already into lifestyle?
Yeah, Singapore has a pretty small and tight hip hop community. I mean, you go to the clubs, you're partying and all that, but there's not many rappers that are doing it full-time mainstream as a job. There's a lot of rappers that are in the underground scene, just like everywhere else. The underground scene is always buzzing with a lot of talents, but as a full-time job, as like their life, there's not many people that are doing it here in Singapore. So, but that being said, Singapore is a small country, so the scene is pretty small and tight. Everybody knows one another, so the support was very intimate and very family-like. So when I started out, people showed love. People openly showed love. They supported. They gave a helping hand as and when they can. That is kind of how I met all my guys that are around me. Like, people were talking in the scene, and then one day I was walking outside a club and I met Flight School, bumped into him, and then he was like, "Hey man, check out your stuff. I like it. Come to the studio. Let's see what we can do." Boom, boom. Next thing you know, I'm signed to him. Boom, boom. Next thing is Cartel. Next thing is DevJam. Like just one after the other. People were willing to support and help and groom talent, I guess. So that was amazing.
That's great. Who did you listen to when you first started, or when you got into hip hop? Like who were like, who were you inspired?
Some of my biggest influences, biggest inspirations would be Lil Wayne, Notorious B.I.G., Kanye West, Jay-Z, Drake. The list goes on. I mean, I've predominantly only listened to hip hop music for the last 15 to 18 years of my life. So the list really goes on. But from a young age till now, the names that I've just mentioned, these are the guys that I consistently listen to. Every time they put out anything, I listen and I'm like, need to look at the lyrics and all that, properly tune in.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's, that's how it starts for a lot of us that really love, this genre. When I listen to your stuff, like I feel like there's a sense of humor in it,
Mhm.
like even your music videos, there's also like there's always like a little bit of humor in there. Like where do you get that from? Like that fun side of yours?
That's just an enhanced version of me. Like me as a person, I've always been this happy-go-lucky joker, class clown, trying to make all the girls laugh and stuff like that. I've always been that kind of guy. That's my personality. So for me, if I was to do anything that is that is artistry, whatever, it'll always be an extension of who I am, you see. So that's the reason why my music will forever have this
Mm,
fun, joyful element to it. I think that is what makes me. And I'm not that serious hard rapper that can talk about street struggles or whatever. I'm just not that kind of a guy. Like, this is who I am. And my one of my biggest uh purposes, that you could say, through my music, or one of the biggest purposes towards why I make music,
mm,
that I want to that I want to achieve with my music, is to brighten people's days. I want to make people smile. I want to positively influence and positively impact people's lives. Like you may not know what I'm saying because some of the words are in Tamil, but beyond that, if you're watching my video and you're having a good time and you're smiling throughout my music video, like, I'm good. Like, I'm happy. Like, I feel like I've won. You know what I mean? Like, that
that's
is one of my goals. I want to bring that joy to people's lives, because I feel like I have an abundance of that. My the way I was raised, the kind of person that I am, is like, I want to positively inspire people with my art, and that's just my whole thing.
That's cool. Because you know what? You can't really fake that either. Like watching your stuff, like you just
Mhm.
know, like, oh, you had like really like you had fun doing it, and that just had to come from
Yeah,
somewhere like deep within, because that's not something you can just, like pretend
yeah,
to act like. That's cool.
exactly,
Talk about
exactly.
your latest song, like that's one of an example of like how much fun you must have had in the video shoot, and like tell me what is the song about, mom?
Well, songs, I'm just cheekily talking about girls, and just it's a party song. It's a song that is a high energy club banging type of song. It's the kind of song that I love to do, because it has so much energy in it. Like, makes people want to move, makes people want to dance to it. And this song, we made it in 2018, right around the time when we made Mustafa. Mustafa has a similar vibe to it. My debut single. It is all like, if you play this in a festival, if you play this at a place with like proper speakers, like, it's going to shake the place. Shout out to Flight School for the production and for the guidance in making the song. Like, these are the kind of vibes that I love to create, because it gets people on their feet, it gets people to move. And now, at a time when all the clubs are closed, so why not we bring the club to people's houses, release a song?
Yeah, I was
Was
just gonna ask, like you make those songs that make you want to hit the club so bad, but you
Yeah,
can't go to the club. So I'm like,
exactly.
are you teasing us, or like are you gonna kill people, or like are you
No, like,
serious?
I miss clubbing sincerely
Yeah.
with all my heart. I miss it so much. So it's like, for me to put this out, it's like me just celebrating a little bit, just like letting it blast on my speakers at home, and feeling like, the clubs are open just for a little while, just get that feeling again. I
Yeah.
really enjoy making records that are like club banger type of records. Is something that I really love. It's one of the things that made me fall in love with hip hop. The drums, the 808s, when it hits hard and when you can feel it here, it's like that moves me. And I love that kind of a production, that kind of a sound, that encapsulating vibe.
Mhm.
And that is kind of the headspace that we were in while making Mommy. But it's just a fun record, cheekily talking
Yeah.
about girls and having fun. Yeah, so
I
that's
mean,
that.
in this time, we need that. We need fun. We need like life.
Yeah, yes.
We do.
That's my whole vibe.
Yeah. How was the music video like? Making the music video. How much are you involved in the production side of things?
Well, very blessed to say that at every step of the way, we've had wonderful, uh, priceless team synergy, with myself and the team and myself. Since day one, since Mustafa days, when it comes to getting work done, whether is it making the song or shooting the video or doing the promos, like, everybody works really well together. So because of that team synergy, everybody's involved in everything. So one of the benefits of that is I am as involved in the production, the making of the video, or any other part of the process as much as anybody else. So that's another wonderful thing I would like to tell you. It's just super priceless to me. Like, I don't know how it all just set up so nicely, but it's really quite a joy working with the guys that I work with. The same guy that I've been working with since Mustafa days, his name is Jasper. He's been making the music videos since day one. He's also a very good friend. So it is never really work when we come together. It's always like, hey man, this is fun. This is like, we after the video wraps, we go have a couple of drinks. It just doesn't feel like work. It's the same thing with flight school. Same thing with my manager Theodora. Like, it rarely feels like work, and that's one thing I'm very blessed with. So for this particular video, we actually collaborated with another group, video agency. They're called Bless 7 Up. So they shot the video, and then Jasper edited the video, which was, once again, it was a very joyful experience. And shout out to Marina Bay Sands. They came through. They gave us one of the locations for us to shoot in. We shot in the presidential suite of Marina Bay Sands. We shot at Hanifa Textiles, which is a sari shop in Little India, and it's the first time somebody turned a sari shop into a trap house, like a club. We turned the sari shop into like a club. That was pretty cool. And it's in my neighborhood. It's in Little India as well. So if you ever come to Singapore, I'll show you that. So there's sorry, what was that?
No, that's amazing. You know what? It's funny. You just said like, how things doesn't feel like work because it's so much fun. And a lot of times I talk to artists, like we know there's like different type of aspect of, the job that you're doing. Like there's the writing music, there's recording, then you music videos. Sometimes as fans, we don't even like think about all the work that goes into one song. Would you say like, is there any aspect of, making a song that feels more like work to you, and then the other aspect that is like totally just fun?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're doing this full time and this is your job, then you have to fulfill some of your duties, which is to constantly staying creative, right? Which is to constantly stay creative and to always seek out what is going to be the next thing. So sometimes you feel like you want to chill a little bit, sometimes you feel like, okay, things are moving too fast. I want to just take this day to like relax. Sometimes there are days like that, right? But those days, to pull yourself back up and be like, you know what, it's still go mode. It's not time to take a vacation. Like, you got to pull yourself out and get to work. But regardless of what I do as a job, I'm pretty sure even if I was a carpenter or a car salesman, I would still have days like that, So it's like it's really not something that I would say as like a bad thing about my job or anything. It's just good days and bad days kind of thing. So one of the things that sometimes feels like work is to find the next thing, the next sound, the inspiration for the next vibe. Because one of the things that is quite a roadblock during this time is the fact that, and all these things are happening around the world. There's so much uncertainties. You never know when the world is going to go back to regular pace. And you open up the news, you see all these things, just like, it is not helping with the state of expression, a state of creativity. It's really quite dampening for the spirit. So lately, maybe since 2020, late 2020 or early 2020 till late 2020, I've been feeling that the process of creation has been slightly difficult, has been more difficult. It's been a challenge, not just for me. I spoke to my other friends who are doing this full-time, artists as well, and they shared the same thing. They say that, it's just not as easy to stay on go mode, to stay on the mode of creating every day when you get hit with so many uncertainties on a day-to-day. So that is one thing that has been getting better, has been becoming smoother as time goes by, as we learn the new mode of living, the new mode of staying sharp. So now I think I'm better at handling that. But if I were to say one thing that has been feeling like work, it has been getting out of that that space, the slightly darker space, and coming out and just pushing on and just moving forward, so that's that one thing.
That's very insightful. Thanks. Because, a lot of our like fans on CUTZRADIO, we have a lot of young artists watching our stuff. And I think like it's so important for someone like you to just share that side of things too. Because sometimes I think a lot of like, especially young artists, they think it's all going to be fun and games. And then you're in it, you're like, oh, wow, like this is actually work. Like it's not all. Yeah. That's really cool. Thank you for that. So, I know like a lot of, since DevJam has launched, DevJam Southeast Asia, we have DevJam Thailand here. A lot of the fans are anticipating collaborations between, each countries, and also like, of course, maybe potentially artists from the US. Is there anything in plans for you, or is there an artist that you would love to collaborate with in the future?
Well, I spoke to somebody else about this, but I would really love to collaborate with Wei from Thailand. That's one of my brothers that I've been waiting to collaborate with, part of the DevJam family. But of course, besides all the collaborations that I wish to happen, that I wish to see happen, there are a lot of things that are happening right now that is kind of under wraps. Can't really talk about it, but what I can say is that to everybody that's listening, if you have been following me since day one, or if you've been a fan, a supporter, I'm very happy to say that 2021 will be a year where we'll release more music, and it won't just be one song a year like how it has been for the last 3 years. So yeah, that's that.
So something's coming. Like something's coming and you want to say it, but you just can't say it. So we just have to stay tuned. Okay.
Stay tuned, please. Stay tuned. It's gonna be an exciting year. That's all I can say.
Because you just kind of like gave us that little bit of smile that we're like, something big is coming. All right, that's cool. So for the fans that would like to follow you and just keep up with all the releases and all the music that you're making, you're very active also on TikTok. What are the platforms that you would like the Thai fans to kind of like tune in?
I'm everywhere. You can tune into Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm everywhere, but I'm most active on Instagram and TikTok now. But for all my music stuff, my music videos, my promos, my freestyles, all of them are on my YouTube. So I urge everybody that's listening to this, please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that's where all the latest and hottest drops. That's where it appears. And of course, my Instagram for my goofy day-to-day inspiration and vibes and light or whatever it is. So you can follow me on Instagram for that. So yeah. Cool.
All right. For our fans, we'll link up all your your sites, TikTok, Instagram, for everyone to go follow. Thank you so much. You know what, like I would love to like interview you in Thailand. Hopefully you'll be back.
Beautiful. I will be as soon as we can. Trust.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places in the world. I'll be there.
We have to do we talked about that motorbike ride in the
States.
Yeah, we need to do that.
We need to do that. So many things on the bucket list we got to do.
Yep, so many things coming. All right, thank you so much for your time, Raja. Like it's been so cool to talk to you, and hopefully we'll get to interview you here in the studio one day.
Oh man, likewise. Please send my love to the fam, to Carlo, to everybody, to the baby. How's the baby doing?
Baby is doing great. Baby's crying.
Is the baby still a baby?
Yeah, baby is basically sleeping, pooping, peeing, and crying. Yeah, that's basically the routine.
I wish to meet your baby while it's still a baby.
Yeah, I hope that's possible. Yes, hopefully this year. Thank you so much, Raja. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you, ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you so much. I'll see you when I'm there.
CUTZRADIO.